My next guest, he keeps close tabs on all things mobile. He's mobile himself. Gillis, Director of Research and Senior Technology Analyst at BGC Partners. Good to have you with us, Colin.
Tim, it's great to be here.
All right, so we're going to do the reverse order based on cash flow, right?
I thought that would be kind of fun.
I like that. I'm trying to keep it all in my head. So we've got research in motion. And just so we can explain to people, what exactly is cash flow and why is it important?
Sure. Well, because when you see the profit and income statement of a company, a lot of times there are non-cash charges in there. So it's always important to see how many dollars, actual physical dollars, that the company received and added or subtracted from their balance sheet. And that's basically what cash flow is. And so, cash flow helps sort out any of the accounting methodologies that are used, to really give you a good picture of the business. Because if people are buying things, there's cash coming in the door.
All right, so good cash flow means a lot, and bad cash flow means a little. You want to start with the one at the bottom of the ranks, right?
Well, we can start at the bottom, we can start at the top.
Where do you want to start?
Well, why don't we work our way up today?
Go ahead.
All right, so in the most recent quarter in the mobile space, right, coming in with about $908 million in cash flow was Research in Motion. One of the reasons I have a sell on it was that, hey, cash flow was pretty weak. And so we are bearish on the shares, and there's a couple of reasons for this. One is that the technology used in the BlackBerry phones themselves are being lapped by the Android operating system. And if you go out and you see some of the statistics, Android unit sales grew by over 1,000%, 1,400% in the third quarter, and a lot of that's coming at the expense of Research in Motion, the BlackBerries, and that's just a statement right there.
All right, so what about the statement that BlackBerry and Research in Motion are trying to make with the Playbook? They're hoping that tablet is going to grab consumers and enterprises.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think there's two important points you made there. The first is, who are they selling it to, right? And they're actually targeting the enterprise customer, although they call it the Playbook. And the enterprise customer is a slower sales cycle. So, this product is not available for sale yet. The stock has sort of risen because of the fact that it's been seen functioning. They've shown it in some conferences. And it does have a nice screen. It's a 7-inch tablet. We're unclear how that size is going to work in the marketplace, which is, it's significantly smaller than a 10-inch tablet that's, the iPad, because of the way the screens are measured diagonally. So it's about 55% the size. A 7-inch tablet, you would think it would be only 30%, but it's actually not the way it works. And the other main problem with it doesn't have connection via a telco network, data network. So you can tether it, but you can only tether it if you have a BlackBerry phone,
right?
Which is like, talk about, whacking out a huge segment of the marketplace right there by not allowing Android phones. I could see where you won't be able to tether it with an iPhone just because of Apple, but there's no reason you couldn't include Android in that as well. So,
all right, well, let's walk up that cash flow mountain a little bit, and let's get a little higher. Tell me about Google.
So the next up is the almighty Goog. We're on the sidelines for Google. We're not adverse to it. We've been pretty clear this is a good part of the season for Google, right? It's a very cyclical stock in terms of the fact that click prices, lift in the December quarter for holiday shopping. But the thing we would like to highlight is that, hey, the technology that's powering most of Google's results is about 10 years old, right? Which is search. And of course, they're making improvements and incremental improvements and innovating, but they haven't had another major hit. And you can hear them talk about display advertising, and that's a business that's a little bit north of $2 billion. But a lot of that revenue gets paid out to its partners. YouTube still not profitable. There's still a lot of expenses associated with that platform. But again, right, plenty of nice things with Google.
But you're neutral.
But we're neutral.
Okay, let's go further up.
Also, the other thing is, you remember, like year to date, right? The Goog, even though it's had a nice run, it's down year to date, I think 4%. Whereas our growth pick, right, is up 46%. So we can get to that.
Well, you better do it, because I want to give you the time, right? Let's go next up the cash flow tree, and this is Apple.
Apple, and actually that is our growth pick, so it's a perfect segue.
There you go. So you like Apple shares? You say buy them?
We still like Apple, even at these levels.
Around $300 a share.
Yeah, actually, we think it's got plenty of headroom to grow, and there's a couple of reasons why, right? First off, you got a brand new revenue stream with the iPad, right? We're talking, this is going to add in our estimates north of $3 billion in the December quarter. Like, in one quarter, that's
like a whole brand new company.
That's like a whole brand new. Any company that had $3 billion in annual revenue would be pretty happy. To get that in one quarter is, pretty impressive. So they're hitting on all cylinders. And the interesting part about Apple, like I was mentioning, compared to Google, is that half of their revenue is coming from products that didn't exist 3 years ago, right? Which is the iPhone,
innovation,
and the iPad.
Innovation.
That's right.
All right, I got to give you 15 seconds at least on Microsoft.
And on Microsoft,
that's the cash flow machine.
It's a cash north of $8 billion, right? When they they reported a record cash flow on Bill Gates' 55th birthday. So it was Bill's big cash flow beat. So Microsoft, we still think that there's room to run here. It is a cyclical stock, but we still think there's upside to where it's at.
All right, always a pleasure. Colin Gillis, he puts it all together. I love that. The cash flow machine. Thank you very much, BGC Partners.